Three secret ways the jobs world keeps you in the matrix. This shit is so fucking crazy because you don't discover any of these things until you're out of the matrix and out of the job world because it's like when you're in a bubble. If you're in a bubble, you can't tell from the inside that you're in a bubble until you're on the outside. And so when I left the job world, when I started noticing all of these things, I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. I'm just gonna get straight into it because I don't, whatever, right? It's the first one is a dopamine paycheck. This one is so crazy because I noticed it in real time. Because when I first would get a job and I get my first paycheck, I'd be mad excited, and I would normally save all my money, right? Because like I was like I didn't have like, any expenses. So I was like, I'm just gonna save my money. I'm gonna invest it somewhere. But all my coworkers, they would get the paycheck every single week, and these people would complain about their money and how they had no savings or nothing, and they would spend it every single week. Every weekend, they would go out, buy food, whatever they would do, right? Whatever bullshit. They would always buy unnecessary shopping purchases, and I was like, yo, what are they doing? Because they would always complain to me about their like finances. And I'm like, have you ever tried like not like I didn't say this to them, but because people always get offended, but it's like this happens everywhere. People get their paycheck and then this is what actually happens. From Monday to Friday, you work, right? Monday to like Wednesday, you're like miserable. Thursday or Friday, when you get your paycheck, you're like a little bit happy, right? Because you get that dopamine boost in your brain where you're like, wow, I just got rewarded, right? That's literally how dopamine works. It's a reward chemical. And then Saturday, Sunday, because you're like, oh, the week was so hard, I just got paid. You use that same money that you made and you spend it on the weekend. And then Sunday night comes around and then you're miserable again because you're like, oh, I have no money and I have to go back to work, right? But you have to go back to work because you spent the money. And it's like you're gonna keep being in this perpetual loop forever and ever until you realize like, oh my God, I need to save as much money as I can so that I can eventually get out of the job world, right? But people just don't think like this, and they fall for it every single week. And I think a huge part of it is if you just don't like working or you don't like your job, because that misery that you feel from Monday to Thursday or Wednesday, you need to alleviate it. So what do? You always get excited for the reward and then you spend it. This one is so fucking crazy because it's like it sounds like such a like a weird like nuanced thing, but it's like your brain works off dopamine. Whatever your brain releases dopamine off of, you will get addicted to it, right? The same thing happens to junk food, Netflix, social media, right? The reason you keep attaching yourself to these things is because you're addicted to it, right? On some level, because every time you go on social media, every time you eat McDonald's, every time you finish a Netflix show, you get dopamine from it, right? Just to be able to like sit down and relax, even though you know these things are not moving you forward in life, right? Like you're almost stuck, where it's like you eat the McDonald's and you don't feel better after. You're in worse shape and you're like, why do I feel so bad? But then you do it again the next time. It's because your brain can't tell the difference between what's actually good for you and what's bad. It's whatever gives you dopamine. And so that's the first one. That one is just like super crazy. Like once you become conscious of that, like to start paying attention to like every time you get a paycheck, how excited you get, how excited your coworkers get, and how like you treat the money, because you need to start treating the money like an actual business would, right? A business would get money and then they would save it because they need to invest it back into the business or just build out infrastructure. But what do people do? They just start consuming. They start shopping more. They start buying more food. They start doing the most outrageous stuff. Don't do that. If you actually want to become financially free one day, you need to understand that you need to save your money and then learn how to multiply your money, okay? First you save, then you multiply, okay? Don't do it the other way around. It won't work the other way around. Second, the illusion of security. This one is so huge, and I saw it in real time because I had never really had like a proper job until recently, which I quit. But everybody around me was like so financially illiterate. So they didn't understand anything about insurance. They didn't understand anything about retirement. They didn't understand anything about investing. All of this stuff I had learned from like 18, because I was reading so many books from like the day I turned 18, and I was investing from when I was 18, and I got a degree in finance. So I just knew about all this stuff and they didn't. So they would all come to me, all these people who were like double my age would ask me for like retirement advice, investing advice, insurance advice. Like they wouldn't even take the time to like research their insurance. Like the insurance that the company was offering was horrible. They didn't cover shit. But they would be like, oh, do you think I should get this? Should I like get my paycheck cut a little bit for this insurance? I'm like, no, that shit is ass. Like you'd rather just keep the money and get insurance on the outside, right? But it's like, you need to become conscious of this, because all the things that your company provides for you are actually so garbage, because you can do it all by yourself for so much better. Even if it costs more, it's worth it, right? Like the insurance that they give you is so garbage, it never ever covers anything, and you're scared out of your mind to use it. The retirement isn't even real anymore. Bro, the retirement in the current state of economy is literally getting cut out. You're not gonna get Social Security by the time if you're a younger person, retire. You're not gonna get Social Security anymore. That shit is done. That shit is fried. And your actual retirement is just your company investing for you. Like the company that I was working in, they were investing in their own stock. So they were pumping up their own price for the people's retirement, but they don't even know what the price stock was or anything. while I had my like investments, my IRA, everything was already settled because I did that all on my own. And you can easily do it. It's like free access for everyone. It's not like the old days where like you had to go to like a brokerage to like buy stock. You can literally do it all from your phone now. The fact that people are not like conscious of this and they're literally too scared to buy stock, and they have like the stupidest question like, oh, can I buy a fractional share? Like obviously you can literally put as much as you want in. And so if you understand that, then you'll be like, okay, you know what? Maybe I don't need the security of a job. Maybe I can buy insurance on the outside. Maybe I can just make way more money than I ever need, right? And so that one was super baffling for me because I really thought that like these companies were offering like crazy retirements and really good insurance, but they're not. They're not. And I know even like the top companies, they're not even doing anything crazy. Like the only time it's even worth like having a job or like getting like this like security is if you get equity. But I guarantee none, like you're not getting equity. Like that's like people who have like 10 to 15 years worth of like experience and skills, and you're just not gonna get equity, right? The best place to get equity is in your own fucking company, in your own business. And the last one is and the last one. This one is kind of like nuanced, but it's like it's so important. The scarcity around money stems from you having a job. And I know this sounds so crazy, but I've experienced it like literally I've had 10 jobs and the same pattern has happened every single time, and I've seen it in other people as well, where it's like when you have a job, so you have an income, a stable one, it's actually harder to spend money. And it sounds so counterproductive, but it's like my theory or whatever is like when you spend your hours working or your salary working, you're spending like 8 hours a day. Let's just say you're making $200 a day, right? 8 hours a day, $200, 25 an hour. If you spend that $200, it doesn't feel like you're spending $200. It feels like you're spending 8 hours. It feels like you're spending your whole day on this investment in this food, whatever it may be, right? And so it's like the best things in life to buy are investments, right? And investments are expensive, right? If you want to buy the crypto, stocks, courses, coaching, whatever you want to pay for, it's not going to be cheap, right? And so when you have to pay this big lump sum, it feels like you're giving away your life. It feels like you're giving away your hours, right? And it's actually so much easier to pay for expensive investments when you don't have a job because it doesn't feel tied to money anymore. But it's like the reason you tie money to time, which is not something you're supposed to do, you only do that because you have a job. And like if you like ever all businesses, entrepreneurs, they understand that money and time is not connected. That's why they're able to get rich and wealthy. Because if you always tie your money to time, you'll always be limited. Because your time is limited, your energy is limited, and the amount of money you can make per hour is limited, right? Think about like if you tie, like say you have a project, right? If I say I'll complete this project for you, this is the price, then I get paid for however long. It doesn't matter how long it takes me. It can take me 30 minutes, it can take me 3 hours. I get to charge you based off the project. Whereas if you say I get paid 20 an hour, 25 an hour, you get paid 25 an hour no matter how much hours it takes you. Whether it takes you 3 hours or 30 minutes. So you always will be stuck based upon how much time you put in. And that literally keeps you capped forever and ever and ever. And so it's like, as an entrepreneur, as a business, you're able to shift away from trading time for money to trading transformations for money, right? If I complete this project for you, if I do this writing assignment for you, if I teach you this topic, whatever, it does not matter, right? The fact that people have to pay for transformations instead of how much time you input literally changes the game forever. And then you're able to finally see how money is not supposed to be something seen as like this scarce resource. It's supposed to be an abundant tool. Remember that. There's more money than you'll ever need in this life, and you have access to it. It already exists. You just have to go and find it. And if you use your money as a tool, as an investment, right? Do not use your money like it's a plastic hammer. Use it like a jackhammer, right? And when you have to hit the nail, you want to use it with like you have to see money as a tool. Like I'm telling you, money is literally just a tool. So once you start like you seeing it like that, you start buying things that are expensive, but they help you get an ROI. They help you make more money, whether that's courses, coaching, whatever it may be. If it's a machine, if it's education, whatever it may be, you need to understand money is there to help you make more money. That's how you literally get rich. Use your money to make more money. If you just simply do that rule, but you have to get out of the job world. It will not happen because your mind is too tied to time and money. It's too interconnected. But if you just see money as a tool and you can start seeing how it's abundant, and it's a tool for you to use to learn how to make more money, you will get rich. I'm telling you, if you just take these 3 ideas that I told you and keep them like top of mind, you will win in the end. I'm telling you.